Okay, good evening all. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to start the practicals for the cloud computing. Here I have the practical list. The first practical, we are supposed to develop the private cloud using an open source technology, develop the public cloud using the open source technology, then explore the service offerings, disk offerings, network offerings, and the templates. Then explore the working of the following virtual machines, like we are supposed to set up the virtual or the VM virtual machines in that particular cloud services. Then we will see the working of the virtual machines, like creating the images, then dealing with the storage, then dealing with the volumes, then creating the service pools or creating the resource pools, and the database configurations, and finally the administrator alerts. We are supposed to use the TriStack for the practical 1, 2, and 3, and the rest practicals we can perform in FOSS-Cloud or any kind of OpenStack or the CentOS. We need to install the CentOS for the rest practical. But as of now, being the lack of resources, I'm going to demonstrate the practical number 1, 2, 3, and I will show you the actual live demonstration for the practical number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are doing the practical 4, 5, 6, 7 in FOSS-Cloud, and for that I have set up like this. You can see I have just installed the virtual VMware workstation, and I have installed the FOSS-Cloud. It is a demo version, and one Windows operating system, so I can access the FOSS-Cloud from that Windows operating system. So for this setup, I require minimum 8 GB RAM, or I have 12 GB. If you have the 16 GB, then you can work very well. You can see I can get stuck somewhere because of it's a kind of heavy loading. Actually, FOSS-Cloud is not overloaded, but the VM workstation is overloaded. So definitely loading 2 operating system in VMware, definitely it is going to have much of your RAM because it is a quite of heavy softwares. What is the ideal idea? You're supposed to set one FOSS-Cloud server in your laboratory.
Sir, screen visible नहीं है.
Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is my setup. Here I have installed 2 operating systems. One is the FOSS-Cloud and the another is the Windows XP. I'm supposed to access this FOSS-Cloud from this Windows XP operating system, and for this purpose I require minimum of 12 GB RAM. Actually 8 GB is recommended, but I require minimum 12 GB RAM so I can run through 2 operating systems. Basically FOSS and Windows XP is not very much heavy systems, but if you install those in a VMware, then definitely it becomes heavy. You can see we can get stuck somewhere while doing this practical. So I think let us move to the practicals so you will get the idea. What I did here, I first installed the FOSS-Cloud. You can get the FOSS-Cloud setup on internet. It is an open source, so you can download it from the FOSS-Cloud website also. Here I have the FOSS-Cloud website, that is http://wiki.fosscloud.org. You can use this link also. You can get the latest software. Later on, you will get the ISO. You need to install that ISO in VMware Workstation. It will ask you to install the demo version or single node version or the network version. For this purpose, if you are working with a VMware Workstation, then you need to select the demo version. If you are working with some kind of client-server architecture that we do in a laboratories, so student can access this FOSS-Cloud also. So in that particular way, you can select the network OS also. Then you need not to do anything. It will ask some kind of IP addresses. I have set up the IP address like 192.168.1.100, and this is my IP address for to access this FOSS cloud. It will ask you, okay, now this is VMware, so it will telling like that the network devices has no IP addresses. So as it is a demo version, if you have any kind of such kind of single node or multi-node system, then it will display your IP address over here. But it is nothing doing with that, because we don't require any kind of IP addresses. We just require to do some basic services. It will ask you to do the login. So you can do the login with the user ID, that is a root. Here it is given, and the password admin. So here you have started your FOSS cloud server in this way. Then you need to install any Windows XP or any Windows 7 or Windows 10 will do. You need to open in setting, you need to open this network property, network adapter, and you need to select the NAT. Okay, if it is not selected or if it is not visible, then what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to click on add. Then you will get the various hardware types, and you need to select the network adapter, and then it will be added over here, and then you can select NAT. If you don't have this network adapter, you cannot access FOSS cloud system. So this property or this option is very much important. Then you need to copy two ISO. That is, I have copied one Ubuntu, and the second one is the Windows XP Professional. So I can upload the ISO, and also I can define the virtual machine with them. So this is the basic requirement that I have supposed to do for performing this practical. So any query in basic setup?
सर ये जो ISO है, इसको हम लोग को कॉपी कहाँ पे करना है? मतलब ये Windows XP के installed XP में या फिर?
नहीं, first you are supposed to download this VMware Workstation. It is a trial version. Okay, don't go any kind of pirated version. You will get the trial version, which is for 30 days. So you can download this trial version. You can install this VMware. Now my operating system is Windows 10. You can install it. Then here you have the file option, and then new virtual machine. And suppose you have downloaded your FOSS ISO, then you need to select the path of that particular FOSS ISO, and then next will do, and that will be installed automatically. Similarly, you are supposed to do for the Windows XP.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the setup. Now let us access the FOSS cloud system. I will enter my IP 192. I hope it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 192.168.1.100. So you will get your login interface like this. The default user ID is admin, and the password is also admin for the demo version. And once you get login, you will get the interface like that. Okay, so here you have all your practicals. The first one is for virtual machine. It is going to take some time. Just see here, you have various templates. You need to create a virtual templates from here. Then virtual, you can create the profiles from here. Then this is for the pools. This is for the resource pools. This is for the storage pool. That is a storage practical. Then you can create nodes from here. You can define your network. You can create subnets from here. You can manage your users from here. You can manage your groups from here. And also you can back up the configuration from over here. And this is used for the troubleshooting. This is used for the troubleshooting. So we will do the practical number 1. Actually, the practical number 4 of creating virtual machines. So first, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to upload one ISO file, because just as of I did over here, I have 2 guest OS. One is the FOSS OS and the second is the Windows OS, right? So you're supposed to develop the virtual machine. So now this FOSS will work as your parent OS and you need to develop your guest OS. So for that purpose, we require the ISO. So first thing is that we require the upload the ISO file. So here what I will do, I will upload the ISO file first. So here, once I clicked on this upload ISO file, I need to select the path for ISO file. Now I'm selecting Windows XP. And then I will just write the name XP OS. And then I will click on upload. So it will take some time. Let's wait for that. Okay, now upload is finished. Now I have this ISO. All right. Now I will create a profile. I will create one profile from that ISO. So I will select the Windows. I will select the multi options. Okay. I will select the window. I will select the multi options because I want to work as a multi-processor systems. Then I need to select the ISO file. I have uploaded 2 ISOs. First, I want to see the demonstration for myself. So I have uploaded Ubuntu ISO. Now I have uploaded XP ISO. So I will just select that XP OS. I will give name Windows Multi OS. If you want to give description, you can give description like that. It is a Windows XP. Now I'm just starting creating the virtual machine. So just remember, now just my advice is if you are not if you are doing all these practicals in virtual VMware, then do not increase this memory. Okay, otherwise your system will get hang. So I'm just keeping this memory as 256 MB and the volume capacity as 10 GB. Now just see here, whenever you are installing your any operating system in VMware, it is going to ask you the basic RAM size and as well as the disk storage size. Now for this Windows XP, I have just allocated 32 GB and the RAM size is 512 MB. So definitely for this OS, I will select the volume capacity as a 10 GB and the memory as a 256 MB. You can select the multiprocessors. I will select only one and the clock offset will be local. You can select also UTC or you can select the local. Now I will click on create. Now you can see here, I have created one VM profile. Now just see here, this is the first one which I have created. Okay, it's coming as a finish. If it is coming as a fail, then there should be there might be any problem with your connection or there might be any problem in your installation. Okay, this is the first one VM profile that I have created. And now this is what the Windows Multi OS, which is I have created just now. I can edit the VM profile from over here and also I can delete this VM profile from here also. If I clicked on that OS, I will get all the information and also I will get the edit information. So here I have created the profile. Now I will go to the VM template. I will click on the create. You need to go now. Just see here. You can see the Windows Multi OS, which you have the profile that you have created is coming over here. I will select the multi option. You need to select the VM pool. Okay, now I will just give the name like this: VM template virtual machine pool 1. Now the available OS is coming over here. Then the rest things are same, which you have set up doing while creating this practical or creating this VM template. You need to set the number of displays. Then you will click on create. Okay, now you have created your VM template and it is coming over here. Okay. Now this is the demo version, so you will not get this run action. If you are installing these practicals in a standalone, then you will get this run action. If you are clicking on the start VM, I think it is visible to you. Then that OS will be loaded automatically, and that will be installed in your FOSS with respect to your FOSS Cloud OS. So this is your first practical of creating the virtual machine template. So any query in this practical?
No, sir.
Any query in this practical? Hello?
No, sir.
Hello?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine. These practicals are very much simple, so I think you will not have any kind of query over here. Just the simple steps you are supposed to do. Now the next one is the generating the resource pools. So here, while creating the resource pools, so first you need to create the resource pool. So I will click on the create. Then I need to select the type. So what kind of storage pool or what kind of resource pool that you are supposed to do, both will work as the same. Okay, here also you will get the same kind of structure over here. I will click on create. Then I will select the type of my VM pool. I can select the dynamic. Then here the dynamic storage pool is coming. I will select that pool. Then now this is the one pool which I have created while installing that FOSS OS. I have given the storage name or the resource name as a AAA, which is coming over here because it is installed and it is connected. Or you can select any kind of dynamic storage pool also, which will be created. Okay, let us check. ABC is the name. Then the description, the second VM pool. This is a node name. Okay, this is a node name which is given to this FOSS one. You can set it as an ID also. Then here I don't have any kind of range. Number of displays 1. Then how many means if you are selecting this VM pool, then how many number of VMs that you can run? So I can run 3 virtual machines on this pool or VM pool or storage pool or any other resource pool. Then you can see maximum number 14 is over here. Then minimum number of free VMs. So I can say like that at least 2 VMs should be, or at least 2 slots should be free. Otherwise it will generate the error message or it will generate the warning message. Then I can click on create. Let's see. Okay, range cannot be kept as a blank. Fine. I need to define a range over here. So let me define the range. Okay, here I'm just creating one range. So the start IP address will be say 100. Let me keep it as a 24. Name range 1. Type dynamic. Create. So it's created over here. Now I can go back to my VM pool. Now let me see whether it is coming or not. Now see here, I'm getting range. Okay. Now the rest the things are same. So I have created one VM pool over here. It is a AXD. Now just see here, you can see that resource over here. Okay, it's not still updated. Once it is updated, you can see that VM pool over here also. Okay, but if you are getting some kind of if you are getting this into this table, or if you are able to see your entry in this table, then you have completed your practical. So this is about the resource pools, or creating the resource pools or virtual machine pools. So any query in this practical?
सर वो रेंज कहाँ से क्रिएट की है?
Range means, for example, I'm just creating the range from over here, subnets. It is just like that. You're setting one subnet and you're just setting the range. Means, for example, suppose if my subnet is, or suppose if my default gateway is 192.168.1.1, right? Then I can run from 1.0 to some .255, right? But I need to specify one range, so it might be some like 192.168.1.100 to 192.168.1.155. So any node which is having IP address between that particular range should able to access the VM pools. Means just like suppose if you have n number of resources, so you are just dividing those resources for a particular group of network. The same thing we are doing over here. So you can define your network from here, or you will get the option from here also while creating the VM pools. So you need not to go at the networking. So I think it will create the more issues or more confusion. Once you have selected, if there is a no, if don't have any kind of range, now I have created only one range and which is allocated to that particular AXD. You can click over here and then you can just select any kind of IP addresses, any kind of range. Now suppose if I want to select this range, means I want to follow this network pool. So what is the minimum ID is 1. Means 172.31.255.1, and what is the max? That is a 254. So if I click over here, I need to select the start address as 172.31.255.100. Net mask will be 24. So now it is overlapping because I've done setting for the another things also. So here, anything which is starting from 100 to 254 will be accepted. So this is one of the example of creating the range. So you can create your range from over here. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Similarly, you can go for the storage pools also. You can create anything like a virtual machine, dynamic, virtual machine, persistent. Then the wait for the directory. Okay, fine. If it's empty, then definitely dynamic directly will be used. It is not a compulsory option. Now, whenever you are setting any kind of multi-node setup, then you will get this directly automatically because you are setting up a directory as you are doing for the network server kind of thing. So definitely you will get the benefit. Now this is a demo version, so definitely you will be having some kind of limitations, but it will complete your practical and also it will complete your examination also. So now for creating the storage, I will define storage 1. You can define the description as first storage, and then you can create. Now just see here. All the storages are over here. So this is one storage that I have created previously while installing this operating system. Now I have created one more. Okay, now just see here, I don't have any other resources. Okay, I don't have any other resources. So whatever I am setting over here, that will be displayed over here automatically. Now you can see a storage 1. Okay, and that was the name of that particular pool, but that will be also updated because it is also means in the last practical also I have created the storage pool, because it is the only one kind of resource that I have as of now. Because I don't have any kind of printer connected to the system, I don't have any kind of network management connected to the system. Only the thing that I have is the storage or the hard disk which is connected, or the memory space which is allocated to this OS. So definitely anything that I want to do, I will do with the storage pools also. This is all about the storage. Just you need to select the dynamic, then the storage pool name. You need to select the type, any type you can do. A persistent also you can select. If directory is not coming, it is also okay. You can give the name and the description accordingly, and that will be displayed into the table. If any entry is not visible in table, then definitely there is an error in communication, or there will be error in your operating system. So this is about the storage pool and the virtual memory pool. Any query up to this?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then before going to the networking, I will go to the user selection. Here you can create the groups. Here I will create the group of MSC. And then I will just click on create. So here I have created the MSC group. Okay, then I can create the users. I can give the name. Then your surname. Now only I have only one user, and it is a demo version, so everybody will be added into the first group only. So PDLCS. You can enter your password also. Gender, user role admin. See here, I'm just getting the user groups also here. Okay, so you can select any language, user groups, and then you can click on the create. So here I have added one user under this group. But basically, if you are looking at the demo version, everything will be only one group. It will not be like that. Several groups will be created. It is just created the virtually because it is a demo version. But if you are dealing with the actual single node or the multi-node system, then definitely those groups will be created, and those authentication, that is the SSH key, will be allocated for your authentication as your security part. So this is a way of creating the users and the groups. So first you can create a group over here, and then you can create a user, and you can add those users in a particular group. So any query in user creation?
No, sir.
Okay, these are quite simple practicals. So I think there will not be any kind of query for you. Now let us move to the final. That is the final part of this practical. That is creating the subnets and creating the networks, and then you need to create the nodes according to your subnet. Now let's move on. First, I will create the network. I will create the subnet. Now let us start with any kind of 192.168.10.1. Then, okay, it is overlapping something. Fine. So what I will do, I will define any new subnet ID like this. Let me check. Okay, it is taking now. Fine. Let me start it is a new way. So if there is any kind of error, so I will come to know. Okay, it is again overlapping. Fine. So now Okay, let me remove that first. Okay, I think this is not possible for me. Fine. I need to find out the IP address. What can I take? Okay, let me check whether it is taking or not. Then the name will be the domain 1. Then I need to change these things. Default gateway, then default broadcast way address. Let me see. Fine, it's created. Okay, so I have defined one domain. Okay, it is created whenever I have actually at the time of installation. So I'm not able to remove that, but definitely I can remove this because I have created this from the guest OS. So definitely it's been created. Now I can go for selecting the nodes. So the node, VM node. Now I can set the IP address. Now what is the start IP address for this one? That is 0.2. So definitely 195.10.10.2. So I can select like node 192.10.10.15 will do. Then the user, I need to create the user. So I will create the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. I will set one password. Next. Then the testing. Okay, it will be called as an unknown host. I will click on run again. Okay, I don't have any kind of server, so it will be called as an unknown host. If you have server, then that will be successfully, means that will be resolved successfully. And once in the provisioning, it will be published, and then that will be displayed as your node. As of over here, only I have one node which is active and which is coming for the many times as of because I have installed this while installing this operating system. So definitely it is coming. It's a demo system, so I cannot create the more nodes. But if you have the single or multiple nodes, then you can create the required nodes. So this is all about the FOSS Cloud. Then you have the configuration. This is for the backup. Okay, you can create the backup. This is the patches. If you want to upgrade the system, then there are now we don't have any kind of available patches because it's a demo version. In this diagnostic systems, you can diagnostic about your VM template infos, VM counter, etc. Okay, now we have two templates. One is for the Windows and one for the Linux. So total you can see like that 28 VMs you are able to access, because while setting one VS, we have allocated a 14 VM, maximum 14 VM, and the from the two templates, so that will be visible. So this is all about the FOSS Cloud. If you have any query related to FOSS Cloud, then ask. Else I will close this system and I will go for the practical number 1 and 2 in demonstrating way. Any query in these practicals? I will share the screenshots to you till tomorrow evening, so you can create your documentation. You can use that kind of snapshots, or you can install your operating system in this way also. But I repeat, you need to install the VMware workstation. Then first install the FOSS Cloud. Follow all these rules, because in description or in instruction, there are all instructions regarding to the installation of the demo system. If you are installing the demo system, it will be installed in your VMware quite easily. It will not be any problematic in that particular thing. Then you need to install one Windows XP system, and then the IP address which is connected to your FOSS, you need to use that IP address for accessing your FOSS cloud. Then you can access, or you can do all the practicals that we have done till the time. So any query in FOSS cloud practicals?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Shall I close this?
Yes, sir.
So you will share the screenshots of that process, right?
Yes, until tomorrow evening, I will share all the screenshots to you for your documentation.
Okay, fine. So if it's possible, you can share this video with us.
Okay, fine. I can share the video also.
Yeah, it's also fine if we are doing on home also. It will be very familiar to you.
Okay, fine. I will share. I will share.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Now the next practical is about on this trash tag. Now the trash tag is not working. Actually, so that's why we are supposed to do this in a demonstrative way. You can see the hangover to my system because of this VMware workstation. So this is your practical number 1. You're supposed to access this URL. I will share this documentation with you also. Okay, you need to log in from your Facebook account. Okay, you need to log in from your Facebook account, or you need to open your TrustTag account, and then you can log in from that particular account also. Once you have opened or once you are logged in, you will get the interface like that. Okay, it is again the demo version, so definitely nothing is permanent over here. Everything is just like a demo, and once you have created it, you will not get it again. Okay, because it is a purely the demo version. Then now first thing is that you need to create the instances, as you need to create the public cloud and the private cloud. In public cloud, you will not generate any kind of keys, but in private cloud, you need to generate the keys for the access and the security. So first you need to create a network. So here you have the network tab. You can see the network tab over here. Here you have the network tab. Okay, so you can use that network tab, and then you will get the interface like that. You need to set the network name. Any network name will do. Then admin state. Then you need to select the create subnet, and it will need to select the next option. Then you need to create the network address that we did just now. That was like a 190.110.10 or something like that. So you can generate your network address. You can define your IP version, and you can define your gateway IP over here. If you don't want to define the gateway IP, you can disable the gateway IP. It will be working because it is again demo version. But if you want to set up the actual cloud network, then definitely you need to give the gateway IP. Then you need to add all the subnet details like the DNS server name. If you're not giving, then also it is okay. You can just enable the DHCP and it will work. And here you have created your network. So it will be displayed over here. If you want to edit that network, then you can click on the edit networks, and that will be working. Then once you have set up your network, you need to select create the instances. So now just see here. Now before creating the instances, I will go to the access and security, because I need to create the public and private cloud. So definitely I need to generate the key. First I will create the default key. Okay, so here I need to create a security group. Here I have the default security group. You can use that group also, or if you want to create a security group, you can click on create security group. Once you have clicked on that particular create security group, then you need to select the key pairs. Okay, you can select the previous key pairs also, or you can create the new key pair, or you can import the key pair also. So here you will create the key pair, and you need to just give the name, and that key will be generated, and then you can download that key, and then you can use that key for your further use. Once you have created, then you need to key. Once you have created your key, then you need to launch your instance. Then you need to just see the availability zones, as we have seen this in a theory lecture, that we need to create the zones and we need to work with the zones accordingly. You need to create the zones. You need to write the instance name. Then you need to just select your operating systems, or whatever the image name that you're supposed to do. I will select the CentOS, which is automatically is over there. Then the flavor is actually the settings. Like you can see the flavor details over here, like the name, vCPUs, the root disks, then the ephemeral disks, then the total disks, RAM size, etc. Instance count is given over there. You can select any number of instances over here. Now, if you want to make it private, then you need to select this public. You need to just upload your key. If you want to select if you want to go for the public, then you can select a default and you can launch your system. Okay, means if you are giving up your key pair, then it will be called as a private cloud. Otherwise, it will be called as a public cloud. Now, this is all about the demo version, so definitely just understand the actual concept for this kind of practicals. Then you can launch your system. Okay, then you will go to the networking tab. You will select the networking, the range that you have created while doing the first step. And then you can launch your system. So here your system is over here. You can see you are launching over here, and you can just see the actual running. It will be called as a running. You can click on that particular system and you can see the running. But definitely you will not be able to do anything, just because it will be everything will be in a read-only state, because it is just like a demo version. Then you need to create the networks. So first you will create the router. So you will specify the router name. And here you will create the router for the communication. You can see the router details from over here. And then after creating the router, you need to add the interfaces. And the interfaces is nothing but just adding your subnet. And so you can add your interfaces. It is optional. If you want to do this adding interfaces, then do, or the doing or just doing with the router thing is sufficient, because nothing is done over here. Just they have selected the default way and they have just opened this to get the snapshot. You will get all the router details that you have created. Okay, I've done this about the access and security. You can generate many the access security key pairs for the accessing purpose. Now you can just define the rules. Just see here, there are several ingress, egress rules, and you can define your IP protocols. You can define the port range. You can define the remote IP prefixes, and also if you want to remove the roles, then you can remove. You can add rules also like this. Okay, just you need to just add the CIDR address, and so you can just move from this kind of thing. Just see here, we have just added 2 rules over here, and that will be displayed over here. Okay, so you can create, you can remove this instance also. You can just take the snapshot also. You can attach interfaces, you can detach interfaces, whatever you can do with one kind of operating system, that you are able to do with this kind of interfaces. Okay, also you can allocate the floating IP, but it is again optional. If you don't want to allocate, it is also okay. The launching instance is sufficient for creating the public and private cloud. So if you want to create the private cloud, you will just create the key, security key, and then that will be uploaded as a private cloud. If you don't want to upload that particular key, then it will be called as a public cloud. I will share this document with you also. So it is purely demonstrating practical. So if you have any query,